As I yawn. Hello.
Hi, we're live again.
Again, this is like our job.
Wouldn't
This is what we do, right?
This would be fun if this is all we had to do, right? Just come up with fun, creative things to say on Facebook Live all day, every day.
That actually sounds terrible. Trying to come up with something to do all day, every day.
Getting better.
We could just stitch.
See
what I'm doing today. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See how I screwed that up? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
You go.
All right. So can you just give us a thumbs up and make sure, like, let us know if you can hear us okay? All right. Good afternoon. All right. So I'm assuming since Holly she
heard what we said.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I think it would be great. We have some new people that are following the page and stuff. So
welcome to all of you.
Welcome to us. Let us know where you're from if you're not from here.
Around here.
If you are from here, you can let us know that too. We recognize lots of you.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about all things organization in the sewing room. So
because that's me, I'm just organized all day, every day.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm not an organized person by nature, but I am an organized person who I want to be organized.
It just doesn't always work out that way.
So I find that the only way to make myself organized is to basically create systems that make it like
if it has a place, I can put it back in its place.
Yes.
It's just figuring out where everything has a place.
Yes. And if it doesn't have a place, then it's really hard. Then you just put it and
then it just goes anywhere and then you get messes.
Right. And so my secret to that is there's something about it. If I put a label on the drawer and the item that I have in my hand is not on the label, I cannot put it in the drawer. So I can't do it. It's like there's which is good, right? That's my mental block.
I mean,
then it doesn't have a place to go. And so then I either have to put a label on the drawer to say where it's going to go.
I think that's fair. I don't do that either. If I've labeled a drawer that something goes in there, I don't just throw random things in there.
Right.
So I think that's fair. I think most of us are probably in that category.
Yeah. But that is in trying to contain the mess.
Contain, yes.
Because it gets out of hand.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Holly. I start really good and then I start working and set this there and set that there and then I have a mess.
You have a mess. Yeah. Yeah.
But I know where I put things.
That's good.
That's the main thing.
The main thing is knowing where to
as long as you can find it. But
yeah.
So we both videoed our rooms at home. So y'all get to see those and no laughing. I am not a neat person. So no picking on me. But I do have some very organized areas. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of, all of this other stuff.
Right. All the stuff that gets
it's all
in the way.
Other things, and that's, I think, my problem with anything, even my closet, but this goes here and that goes there. Well, I'm not really sure where that goes. So it just kind of goes random. Mm-hmm. That's the same problem in your sewing room.
That's right.
You have random things that you don't quite know where they should go.
Right.
So
we have like a 10-minute video, almost 11-minute video of Lisa's sewing room. And then my sewing room video was long. So
it was 25 minutes.
It's a big room with lots of little gadgets.
Little things. She wanted to share it all with you.
I did a very detailed video for you and it's on YouTube. So you can view it because I know you don't want to just sit here and watch it. And then I broke down some of the individual parts in here that I'll show you. So on the YouTube video, in the comment section, in the description, there's like the big stuff that I have. There's a little description of where it comes from. So that if you want to get something like that or you're looking for it, that should make it easier for you to find it. I didn't actually link the stores because I didn't have that kind of time, but I did write in the description.
We can certainly tell you which will be.
Absolutely. We've got someone from Toledo. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
So does anybody have any specific questions about like what
something in particular that you struggle to organize that maybe we could guide you
help you with?
Yes.
So if you think of something,
throw that over there in a comment.
And we will
talk about that too.
Yep. So should we get right into it?
Let's get into it.
So let's get into Lisa's room here. So let's see if I can remember how to do this from the last time. So I have a All right, and I even have it labeled.
It's labeled with my name.
It is.
I really should have done a close-up on the paint.
Because there's glitter in your paint.
There's glitter in the paint of my sewing room. So welcome to my sewing room. So this is my serger corner. And you can see that I use my slat wall quite a bit for organization. So I have the 4 spools that I generally need all lined up by color. I do have some extra ones down there in that green basket that I don't use very regularly. I've got my foot bag that has all of the feet that I have for my serger, nice and organized right there with easy access. And then the wonderful scrap caddy that Sarah got me, which of course isn't used in cover hem mode, so it's back there by my feet. This is generally where I do my scan and cut work. It's also multi-project based, so you'll see lots of extra things laying around because I do lots of different things. But that is, like I said, most of the time where I'm using my scan and cut. And I have a lovely drawer and cabinet that I've decorated here for storage and keeping things neat. In that drawer that's open just a little bit there, I do have the miscellaneous serger pieces, like the extra spool, thread nets, and pieces to keep that all organized. So again, I do have slat wall, and I like to play with Legos. So there's some Legos up there too. My heat guns are up there. I got that cute little stand for my birthday this year. And there's some more serger things. Again, the slat wall is what I'm using most of the time here. So here is my fabric storage. I have glass shelves that are on the hooks there, and I also have hooks as a kind of bookend to make sure everything stays on there. I originally had it all organized. Kimberbell was all on one shelf, and then well, you know, life happens and things are not as organized, and as you can see by the dumping of things, I am human and I do that too. As we move around the room, I have my rulers all up there, easily accessible. And I have all of my orange pop rulers in one place. And this is a beautiful closet my husband built in here. So this is all of my scan and cut things in those wire mesh drawers, all of my tubes and rolls of vinyls. So that is the piece that I use to organize most of my scrapbooking, I'm so sorry. Most of my vinyl scan and cut paraphernalia is in there. Here is my messy cutting table, but you can see I have an organizer there that I have my knives in, marking pens, those kinds of things. Most of that fabric to the left is scraps or things that I've cut parts off of. They just need to be put away. I do have a ruler caddy that has nothing in it since I put those up on my wall. And I do have a few random things on the floor because, you know, again, I'm human. So over in that area, I have my heat press and of course my Mountain Dew refrigerator, very important things. And my sublimation printer. On the shelf there, again on slat wall, is all of the miscellaneous parts to my heat press. I have a lovely extra large ironing board, and then a shelf set that my husband built that has different caddies of things. Some of them are labeled, some of them are not, but I try to organize things by type. So the one on the right on the top says ruler work. Those are all of my rulers that I use for when I'm doing that. It's all nice and organized. These used to be my thread drawers, but I outgrew them. So they are now my scrap caddies. And if I close in a little bit, it's kind of dark over here. I'm not sure if you guys can make out. It says red scraps, pink scraps, orange scraps, and so on and so forth. So that I have things labeled nice and easily. This lovely messy corner here, those boxes on the bottom are all of my Need a Good Design All Access that I have been part of for way too many years, it feels like at this point, because now I'm trying to find a place to store those books. So those are what's there. I do have, again, a few more cubbies. I have a P-Touch machine that's in one of them. and then the more recent magazines and books there on the top. There's the lovely things I was making for Christmas for my family this year. Made an extra copy, not sure where it's going to end up. And then this is my embroidery corner. So lots of Kimberbell, but not all Kimberbell there on different hooks and shelving. I absolutely love my hoop arrangement. You'll see it again when I come around the other side, but I have kind of like a clothes hanger piece, and those just fit really, really nicely on there. So I have all of my hoops with easy access, and I do have a cutting and ironing station sitting right next to me. This is my beautiful cabinet that my hubby built me, and I use that to lay out projects or stack up whatever I've recently brought home. So as I work my way around, that is my Persona, which is a Brother machine under a baby lock cover, and you can see I have the cabinet underneath a shelf for organizing all of my hoops, and then inside those doors is a drawer that has all of my bobbins and things for the Persona that are all organized in there. And then this is my lovely messy stabilizer. So I have 2 bins there, obviously. The larger ones are on the right, and fortunately I've been around long enough, I can pick up a roll and know what it is. So I don't have labels or anything, but I can easily find what I need. And I do have some of those pre-cut large sheets up against the wall there in the back. As we come around, you guys see I am not necessarily an organized soul. Here's my beautiful luminaire. And here is how I organize my thread. So just like the drawers on the other side, these are bigger. So they can hold more of each colors. So you can see I have red and pink up there on the top left, and so on and so forth. I have variegated, metallic, matte threads. Everything is organized so I know what is in each drawer, and I can pull those out. When I am working over here, I have the lovely thread catcher there hanging. I've got the pin cushion part tucked in the drawer, so that hangs there really nice, and I can use that for trash when I'm working over here. So again, I have the ironing station and cutting station right next to me that I can use for quick little things here. Of course, I have my container of candy because that's super duper important when I'm up here for hours. I have to keep myself going, right? Those threads that are out are actually all part of the project that I'm working on, so I don't want to mix them in, so I want to make sure I have quick access to those. One of these days I will finish that project. And how do I organize all of this? So the top of my machine, I've got the threads. What it's currently threaded with is sewing thread. When I am not using that, I place it on the left portion of my lid there, and I replace that with a embroidery bobbin. I have some pins that are just up there, and then I keep all of my embroidery bobbins run in that little box to the right. So again, my hubby built me this beautiful cabinet, and in the drawers, I have quite a bit of organization here. So I absolutely love, this is a bamboo tray organizer that I've just placed inside of there. I do have the nonstick, I don't know what you call it. It's the grippy for drawers and shelves and stuff underneath in there. I've got my tub of Q-tips that I use to clean my machine out every day. My needles are all organized. All of my pointy, sharp things are in one container. My wonder clips and pins together. My favorite thing that I like to use is this right here, and that keeps whatever foot I'm not using. So if I'm embroidering, my sewing foot and ankle are there with my screwdriver to change that. And then of course, reading glasses in the front pocket there because I can no longer see. I have my box of feet and everything that the luminaire came with laid out nice in there. I have really easy access to that. And then again, I have a whole entire tub of USBs, my different tapes, some more measuring tools, and another tray in here that has things sorted out. I do have miscellaneous parts in the other drawers. Having some storage like this is super, super helpful. So these are all of my magnetic hoops, except for my super big one, which I keep right next to the machine on the other side, which is nice and easy to access. And then in the bottom, I keep the sewing arm that would attach to the machine and the space filler so that I can sew on this cabinet as well. So lots of really fun things. And again, having a storage drawer set is super helpful. You guys might have seen the class that Sarah did for this cute little bag set. This was the color choices that I did, but this is my travel kind of go bag. And I have all of the marking tools, scissors, so on and so forth. And then I have wonder clips in the zipper portions and things like that. So having a organized piece when I'm traveling as well is very, very helpful. So I hope you enjoyed this tour around my room and how I use things. You guys have a great one. We'll see you here in a sec.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So I hope you enjoyed my mess. The scary thing is I did straighten it a little bit before I started videoing. So
that's all good. You know, the most important thing about being in your sewing space is having a way that makes it comfortable for you to work in.
Yep. I didn't really show the TV. That was like, that's what makes me, I'll just chill. I just have something running constantly.
Yeah.
As background. And so very rarely I just turn on music, but sometimes I do that too. I have a little Google speaker. You might have saw it on the table there, but I've got Bluetooth headphones that connect to the TV. So I don't even have to worry about not being able to hear the TV over the embroidery machine or anything like that. So it certainly makes for an enjoyable workspace, and I can stay up there for hours, watch an entire season of something and sew and stitch. And it's great. Somebody can be right outside the door screaming at me and I have no idea. It's wonderful.
Because you have your little headphones in,
I have my headphones in and I can't hear you.
Yeah. I never realized how loud my machine was until I got my Luminaire and brought it in the basement and had it running. And I was like, I don't have to have the volume on the TV like all the way up. I could hear right over top of it.
Yeah,
but
I don't have to wear the headphones if I'm sewing.
Right.
But if I'm embroidering, I only have one ear that really does anything good for me. So it is hard.
Yeah.
The background noise is what really is an issue for me. So
sure.
That little bit, it's not a lot, but that little bit of noise makes it harder for me. But I don't wear the headphones if I'm just sewing.
Yeah.
Because I don't need it. But
it's a big change from
it's funny.
It's kind of like your Persona. That is not a quiet machine.
No,
you know, it's really loud. And my other machine was probably about as loud as
like that. You know, I mean, you know, we welcome all machines here in class, as long as you understand that if something goes wrong with yours, I might not be able to help you if it's not a brother or a baby lack. But, you know, it's, you notice it in the classroom as well, you know, and it's funny, like the new scan and cuts, even compared to the old scan and cuts, you don't even know they're running.
Yeah, they're so quiet.
They're so quiet. It's just like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as you can see, I make use of the slat wall. And I have some empty slat wall that I have yet to fill.
Yeah, she's got some more space.
I've got some more space that I can put stuff up on. So, you know, but I put some wood shelves on brackets and glass shelves on brackets and things like that for some of those things. But I also purchased from Store Supply, I think is where I've been getting like the hooks and the trays and the little caddy things that hook into the slat wall.
Yeah.
The slat wall itself, we actually, we found a fantastic deal on Craigslist. There was a business that basically was moving and they didn't need it all in the new location. So they had it all taken down and we bought an entire storefront worth of slat wall at a very nice price. But if you just want to get one panel, they're like what, 4x8, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
You can pick one up at Menards. And
they're, I would say, probably between $20 and $30 a sheet,
something like that. So not obnoxious. You know, my husband's goal was to put it on every wall because then he wouldn't have to sand and do the drywall thing. I was like, yeah, no, I need some color. And I apologize, I didn't zoom in on the paint. There's actually glitter in my paint in there.
It's super cute.
It is really cute, and I just laugh every time the light hits it just right and it sparkles, and I just
Yeah.
I like that. And so it's the little things.
It is.
But having those little things, you know, the TV, the paint, the, you know, the perfect place to put something, it really does make that space more enjoyable to be in.
Absolutely.
But so slat wall obviously is my big thing. But I found the bamboo trays that I put in the drawers. I believe I got them on Amazon. But you can pick them up at like Bed Bath and Beyond, or you know, lots of places have those. And then I do use a lot of tubs. If you've been in here and you've been, this is like my project, my current kind of thing, whatever I'm working on, so I can keep all of those parts together and things like that. Sam's Club actually had some of these not that long ago that I had bought, and you can pick them up lots of places.
Yeah,
too, so.
Target, Walmart,
Everybody
Meijer,
has
they
them.
all have those.
And these actually have little cubbies inside of them that are sitting on a table up in my room. I haven't found a use for the inside part yet.
They work good in the drawers. Like if
they
you're,
do.
If you don't need them for, as I kick the table out when we go flying.
That'd be pretty. We'll straddle it instead.
Yeah, we'll straddle it instead.
Okay.
So so that was really fun. So yeah, Holly, you can get slat wall. I mean, you can Google it. You can get it just about any place. There are Menards carries them if you're not close to Menards.
Menards carries them in stock. So I mean, you can literally just show up and get some.
Right.
But you can order them from like Depot and Lowe's. I don't know that they carry that on a daily basis though.
I got my first slat wall from the Detroit Fixture Company. They are on like Woodward.
That's where this came from.
Yeah.
This pretty wood.
They have a variety, and they have it in stock too, and they'll sell to anybody.
Yep.
So like my last room, we bought the slat wall from Menards, but I did buy hooks from the Detroit Fixture place because I could basically just drive down and get them. And I wanted them down. So I wanted them. We were heading, it is a hike. It didn't used to be as big of a hike.
Where you were versus where you are. Yep.
But it is nice to know that there is some place in Michigan that you can get something on a whim if you need it. Right. And, you know, a lot of that stuff, you can get some of that stuff on Amazon, but it doesn't always ship that quick.
No, and honestly, the hooks and whatnot, they're very heavy. So, you know, when you're ordering stuff, you're like, oh, they're only, you know, 10 cents a piece. Until they add the shipping. So don't freak out when the shipping adds in and it's like the same amount as your order or more than your actual order. The shipping is really what hits you.
It is
on those. But like the glass shelves that I had, those were we actually had at the house when we tore apart some McDonald's. We had lots of leftover McDonald's things at our house.
Yeah.
But that's where those shelves came from. But you know, the foot bag for the serger, you know, it's little things like that if everything has a home, then you know where to put it and it gets back into that home. So, and the bag makes it nice because if you do come to class, you can just bring the bag and then you don't forget whatever it is that you needed at home. So
absolutely
really nice. And that particular bag, I don't know if we can still get the teal one, but we can get you a black bag that looks just like that. The inside is really cool. It's got Velcro pages that you just rip out. So if you wanted to just bring one of the bags with you somewhere, you can take it apart. You can get it more inserts. We did ask that at one point. I don't remember where
the last time I
or
asked
why, but we did ask, and you can get more inserts to put in there if you wanted to expand that.
Right.
So
and this is kind of, it's on topic, but not. So there's a fun bag that you can make by Annie. That is like a carry-all for everything. You can use those inserts in like your own custom bag.
Yep.
Because they are like the same size, so they'll fit in. So that's kind of fun to make. The fun part of making the bag is embellishing the outside. The not so fun part is adding all of those zippers with the vinyl and the Velcro. So getting those bag inserts, it's kind of nice if you want to embellish it later on.
Not to have to stress about that part. You could just buy that ready done.
That's right. So that was Lisa's room, and let's see. I have a couple videos here. So this is my sewing machine organization one. So I have another video I'll put up on YouTube with the more specific about how I organize my luminaire.
Organizing your sewing space near your sewing machine. There are a few things that I like to have next to me, and I'm going to show you some of those. So I like to have a small cutting mat and a coaster because you never know when your drink is going to get all messy. And you probably can't see behind the serger. There is a ruler. There is a small rotary cutter and a pair of scissors. There is a trash can underneath. And then I have my machine accessories. So the things that I'm going to use with this particular machine are right over here. So I like to keep my little stash and stores next to me. So you can see I have all of my favorite gadgets in there that I use. So I've got a seam ripper, I've got a surgical seam ripper, a small pair of snips, a stiletto, the screwdrivers, a pen, that kind of thing. I have plenty of Wonder Clips. And then this chest of drawers are here to keep me organized. So I have them all labeled, and inside I created a space for each of the accessories that I had. So I used the foot instruction page and used some foam board and a hot glue gun, and there you have it. And I did that for all of the little parts and the feet that were available for my serger, so that I could find them easily and have that information right there. I also like to keep the manual just in case you need it. And I always like to have 2 spots next to each of my sewing stations. I like to have one that has my current project in it, and then I like to have one that has my project scraps. That makes sure that I can stay nice, neat, and tidy when I'm working, and helps me for cleanup later. All right, so another way to stay organized at your sewing space is by using one of these cute craft carts. So I happen to have gotten mine at IKEA, but I don't have a chest of drawers next to this particular sewing station. In the top of my cart, I have my stash and store that has all of my gadgets. So I have scissors and marking pen, a stiletto, the screwdriver, a seam ripper, that kind of thing, something to clean the inside. Then I have these little plastic containers. These are from Harbor Freight. They're super inexpensive. They work perfect for sewing machine feet because they are nice and small. And then I have a bobbin saver for my bobbins. I like to make sure that I keep everything labeled. It helps me to stay organized. I'm much less likely to put something in there that doesn't belong if I have a label on it. So I have the top of my cabinet here. I have that labeled with accessories. And then down below, I have my current project. And then at the bottom, I have, you might not be able to see that label, but I have my project scraps and my stuff to put away. So that's how I keep my sewing stuff labeled and close to me. And I always have a pin cushion next to me. I also try to have a cutting mat and a mug mat, and very importantly, a trash can. So those are some of the things that help me stay organized at my sewing space.
All right. So Lisa was teasing me about my stickers on my sewing machine. That machine actually had some like dents in it.
So that's making it look pretty again.
Yeah, the stickers are kind of covering the flaws. That was a used machine. And
yeah, the one sticker says I make things. And I'm like, you do?
She doesn't think so. She thinks I just organize.
We just play with things and move them around the room and make them look pretty.
Right. So yeah, that's how I organize my serger stuff and my
it's
stuff.
Very organized. I am not organized.
Yeah, I told you. I should have like opened the door to Dave's room so that you could see his woodworking room in there, because there's not a speck of dust anywhere. So he has to walk through my sewing space in order to get there. And so I feel guilty when
if you have a mess.
That's right. Because he just, he's he puts it all back at the end of the day. He's that guy. I will at least
I have one of those guys.
I put it in the container, right? So at least it's here.
Yeah, it's like this. And you close the lid and it looks like you're organized.
That's right.
Right.
So
that's me.
I have to find a way to make it look like.
Yeah, I'm trying.
But
I literally stand in my room sometimes and I look around and I think, I should organize today instead of sew. And then I go, nah, and then I sew instead. But yeah, my husband is that, when you go out to his pole barn, he has just as many toys as I do. If he tells you differently, he's lying. But, mine might have cost more than his. I'm not really sure. But he's got tractors too. So, it all balances out.
It does. Yeah.
But, each drawer in his, he's got, 1/4-inch screws, 1/2-inch screws, and there's a label made with the label maker. He has his own P-Touch machine.
And he might not give it back.
Well, no, I have the pretty cute labels. He doesn't like those. So we have our own. But yeah, so I told you this story. I haven't told most of you. I asked him to help me organize my sewing room. I said, you are so good at this. My brain just doesn't, I can put things back where they go, but figuring out where everything should go, I'm just not that great at. So would you help me? That would be really, really great. Came home from work one day and he had taken everything out of my sewing room and dumped it in the hall and said, so, okay, we're going to bring things back in one at a time and find a place for everything. And I said, I love you. You need to walk away right now. Thank you, but no. I was like, you touched my stuff. I said, I asked you for help.
Be careful what you ask for.
Not for you to do. And my mom standing there, she's like, I tried. I told him not to touch it. But he's very good to me. He built me that beautiful cabinet and the shelving and didn't even laugh when I put glitter paint on the walls. But yeah, so sometimes be careful what you ask for, guys.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
All right. That's cute though. I like it when they try to help.
Yeah, that was, I appreciated the try. And I said, I really appreciate the try. But,
right.
When I said help, that meant I wanted to be there for it. And it looked messy, but I knew where everything was. And, like projects were all here and so on and so forth. I'm still recovering from that. I still haven't found all of the parts that got moved.
No, well,
So
it is really hard. All right, here are my drawers, and this is actually my drawers for threads and stabilizer.
Here is my wall of thread and stabilizer. The drawer units,
I do.
the very colorful rainbow drawer units, they came from Michael's.
Glitter.
The smaller drawer unit, so there's 2 small ones in there, this one and one way down at the end. That one came from Office Depot. They are by Really Useful Boxes, and they are fantastic. They are super strong, very thick plastic. They don't sag in the middle, which is really nice if you've used a variety of different plastic drawer units. They're not all made equal. I can't say enough nice things about these. They do have casters on them so you can move them around. Joann Fabrics does make a version of this. Theirs are about 6 high. These are 8 high, so they're a little bit shorter. I have a couple of those in the room. I'm using one for serger goodies, and the other one is sitting underneath my sewing cabinet with elastic and rickrack and things like that in it. But I have basically 3 types of organizers in these drawers. I have golf tees. These are glued in so that the threads stay where I want them. And it's easy for me to take it out and put it back in. I have not gone and actually put my threads in a numerical order. I have not put anything down at the bottom of the drawer to indicate the actual color that is missing. But I do like the golf tees. It does make it nice so that everything stays in place. And then I have the little one over here. and that one sits on top, and I can take the top piece off and slide, get right underneath the other one, and I put the small spools of sewing thread on top, and I put the bigger spools of sewing thread on the bottom. I have a lot of cotton sewing thread, so that was a nice way to make up more space, because if you just put everything on top of each other, you can't see what you have in there. And then last but not least are the, I guess, the bigger drawers. So that one is deeper, and there are 16 slots. So you've got a lot of space to put different types of things. Those are specialty threads. They're 12 weight. I wouldn't normally use that much space just for little bits of thread, but since those are kind of specialty threads, I don't have 600 of them. So that little container works really nice for me. These drawers work great for your stabilizer. I have my stabilizers in the last 3, so that's really nice. I have one for wash away, heat away, specialty, and then I have a tear away and a cut away one. Obviously, you don't need to have that many stabilizers. I have a couple of different sizes and types, and sometimes I pre-cut them, so they're sitting in the drawers as well. But this is how I like to keep my threads and my stabilizers organized.
That's a little bit of thread.
It's a little bit of thread.
That's a little bit of thread.
It's been a long time. Yeah, but I do throw out thread sometimes because it does go bad.
It does.
And,
unfortunately, that is a thing, which
yeah.
Again, unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize. And so they put them in a project and go, why isn't this working? It's just, it's, my thread's breaking. And
yeah, if it's not good, I don't hold on to it. I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm okay with letting it go if it's bad.
Right.
Just because the irritation that it causes me is way more than I can handle. I get twitchy over it. It just makes me crazy. But
that's okay.
Like you, with the threads in the drawers, it definitely is going to prolong the life of your thread.
You're not it's not leaving it out in the air and so on and so forth. It will help.
Yep. And
not getting sunlight on it.
Sunlight, yes. We if you have new windows, you have UV filters on your windows. Sure. But if you live in an older home, maybe you don't. So that can make your thread brittle. And we have air conditioners and furnaces and air conditioner type humidifiers and dehumidifiers that keep our air constant.
Our air like it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Like it's good for you.
Like it's good for you. So that does help contain the life of your thread as well. So that was my thread.
That was
my
your thread.
Stabilizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So are those drawers big enough to hold like the 20-inch rolls?
They don't hold the 20-inch rolls, but I typically cut my 20-inch stabilizer down. So I cut it down to my biggest tube because that's basically the only thing that I use it for.
Oh, you mean so you like make a flat pack?
I do. I make a flat pack. I just roll the whole roll out and I just cut it all, and then they'll fit folded in half beautifully, and then I just
that makes perfect sense
in the drawer. If it's like tear away, something that I don't want to maybe crease, I will just roll it. So then I can get it to fit the opposite because it'll fit this way. When you cut it down for your hoop size.
That it will. You are
just
not wrong.
Lengthwise. So
absolutely.
That is, and yes, I do. It's kind of, I know it's a little crazy, but.
So do you have days that you just like organize things?
I do.
Yeah. See, I can't get myself to do that. That's part of my problem.
Yeah. So like if I have a really rough day at work and I go home, I used to sew when I would come home, but my brain is typically fried by the time I leave here. Like you
guys believe we have rough days here?
I just don't have any more energy to do anything. And if I start my project, I know it's going to
you're going to mess something up. And,
right.
Yep.
So I will just go downstairs and that'll be the day that I just, maybe I'll clean the drawer today. So just being in the room makes me feel happy, but I
definitely is our happy place.
It is our happy place. Yeah. I find that
I want to get a chair. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually would love to get like a shade. I love that commercial. Shade.
Yeah.
I would really like to put one of those up there, and then I can like go up there and read or sleep or just go away from everybody else, except mom, of course. When my mom's there, I would never want to do that.
No.
She would come with me.
No. So I did put a little rocking chair in my room.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Dave has to walk around it to go. It's not in my way.
It works perfect for you.
He doesn't seem to mind. So if he does, he's polite enough that he doesn't tell me.
Well, there you go.
So
mine would totally tell me.
He would tell you. Yeah.
Why the hell did you put this there?
Right.
That's what I would hear. But yeah, that's okay.
So like I said, there is a really obnoxiously long video in YouTube that tells about all of the
25
fun
minutes
stuff.
isn't that long. It just for you guys to watch a 25-minute long video.
Oh, it is long. I mean, I'm not very riveting, so let's be real.
So both of us were having trouble with words.
Yes.
We were like, that thing.
Yes.
It's that's what I use to organize this stuff.
Right. Because
I don't know what this stuff is right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is my fabric storage. This is one of my favorite ones. So I love the way this looks. It makes me smile every time I go in. This has been the thing that has taken the longest to sort is the fabric.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I had it all folded.
It takes time.
It does. And then I had to refold it.
All of this stuff takes time.
It does.
Unfortunately.
So I have some fabric stored in this closet, and I like to store my fabrics on little comic board savers. That allows me to fold them so they look like mini bolts, and it makes it really easy for me to find what I'm looking for. And I store it by color, and at the very top here I have stripes. Apparently I really like to buy stripes because I have a lot of stripes. And purple is my favorite color, but apparently I don't buy a lot of purple fabric. And I try to keep the shelves so that they're not so packed in. So if I do bring in new fabric, it actually has a place to go. So this is the other side of the closet. And in here, I have, as you can see, lots of little gadget jars. And I like to keep them labeled so that I can stay organized. So the little bins down at the bottom, those are all bag hardware pieces. And then up at the top, I have everything from erasers to tape, Velcro, all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. So those little storage containers are super helpful. I have some decorations on the wall up here. Nothing to do with keeping me organized, just makes the space look nice and cute. I have slat wall in this room, and I've got some of my favorite patterns out, some cute things just decorating, an easy way to store my markers, my pencils, my serger thread. Down at the bottom, those are bundled for kids' quilts. Then I have some storage containers. So it's hard to tell, but they are labeled. I have Kimberbell in there. I have my AccuQuilt dies in there. Over here, these are like, you put them on your counter, like produce boxes. They stand on top of each other. I use it to store ribbon and the different types of hooks for my slat wall. I have these really cool bins that I keep my needles in. So I have them labeled. They tip out, and I can remove them if I'm trying to see something inside, like a particular size. And I have these mounted on the side of my wall here. And then underneath my needles I have some of my extra bag hardware and my rotary cutter blades. I like to keep everything labeled. It helps me find it, for one thing, and it helps me make sure that I put the stuff away and that it has a place to go so it doesn't lay on the counter.
Those. All right. So there you go. There's my
So
fabric.
I really like those containers.
Yeah, the container
the,
store.
The
that
pull out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I might have to invest in some of those.
Those are
So I
basically
have no idea where I put
you
them.
put them. They don't take up a lot of space though.
No, I think they would actually go on the wall right behind me. That, I mean, I could put needles and things like that in.
Yeah.
But
so
I don't keep erasers and things like that in my sewing room. Those are all downstairs. I could put those in the kitchen.
You could.
I could totally organize my kitchen.
And they have all kinds of different sizes. So that's like their medium size. You can get, those are parts bins that you can also get at like Harbor Freight and Menards and places like that. They
don't have the cool colors.
They are just not colored. Yeah, yeah. And
so again, that was the container store.
The container store.
To find those types of bins, and comic book boards is what she has the fabric wrapped on.
Right. So that's what I was just talking about.
Kathy, that is the containers that we're talking about, is from the container store.
Yep.
And they're a part bin and they come in multiple sizes.
Yeah. So if you ever go to the container store, they have a section that is like just for crafts, like craft storage. So they have all kinds of really neat ideas there. But they do have these. I don't know that they have the pink anymore, but they definitely still have white. And they interlock. So they come in like, I don't know, packs of 4 this way, and then you can interlock them side to side or up and down. Yeah. Cool. And I do have mine mounted, but I have some that are sitting on my thread chest. There's some that sit up in the corner, and I just have a little I have like a little what are those, find my words, you put them on the wall, like that gummy stuff that you can put on a wall.
Yeah.
So I just put a little tack in the
like
corner.
Like a 3M gum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like poster gum or whatever. Yep. It's just that. So I just put a little bit in the corner, just to keep it from like wanting to tip out if I was pulling it. And that seems to hold it just fine because it's kind of sitting on an angle. So it wasn't really conducive to attaching to anything. So
no, that's,
yeah, they're very useful. And you can get them in all kinds of, like I said, different sizes, different places.
And if you don't like the color that they come in, spray paint is very popular. Sarah has it in pink glitter and purple glitter. Is your shopping cart in here somewhere? She has a
I do have a purple shopping cart.
Shopping cart.
You could see, no, it's in the big one though. If you watch the big video that's on YouTube, there is it sits in
I'm that not gonna lie, I cracked up when you sent me that picture.
I know, it's so funny.
She was like, check out what I just did.
Yeah, it's like one of those little half.
Yeah, the little mini carts, like the half ones that, you know, the one that you take when you don't want to buy a whole cart full of stuff. So you think, if I just take this one, I won't fill it up. And then you're carrying things out.
Exactly. So
it's that cart.
I have that. To make a long story short, my father-in-law passed away and it was in his basement. And I said, it would be really funny to have that in my basement so that I could do like some shopping and stuff like that. You know, going from the little storage room to the cutting counter and over to the sewing machine. And then I was like,
it kind of looks like a store in her place, doesn't it?
So, and then it was really god awful. It was like beat up.
Yeah.
And so I went outside in the summer and I spray painted it. It was like 12 coats of glitter spray paint,
purple glitter spray paint. It turned out really cute.
It is very cute.
It's very, very cute.
And I actually, so I leave it in that room that we were just looking at. That's a little closet, and I kind of leave it in there. And I go in there and I pull like the fabric stuff and all the stuff that I want. I put it in a little shopping cart and I bring it out, and then I put, you know, the stuff that needs to go back away. I put it all in there.
Making 12 trips.
It is, and I put it all in there, and then I put it all away, and I take the time to do that. So that's what my little shopping cart is.
I think that's fantastic.
So yeah,
I'm not going to put a shopping cart in my room though.
Yeah, it just was a little way of.
I think it's adorable, and I actually have one I could spray paint and put in there. But when my oldest was in college, they didn't have a TV stand, and somebody came home with a shopping cart in their
complex. Yeah.
No, in their house. They had, or in their apartment, they had, you know, multiples living together, and they came home. So we actually like strapped a TV to the top of it. That was like the weight that held it. And their gaming system was in the bottom basket with all of it. Actually was super cute.
I bet it was.
But yeah, so we actually do have a cart I could paint.
You could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have 2 other really quick videos. I have my scrap fabric and my cutting counter. So I will, but yeah, those shopping carts are so cute.
They really are.
Everybody should have a shopping cart if you have space. So
those bins look kind of like
they're just like
the
yours.
origami. So yeah, those, I don't know if you saw that.
I did. I was wondering where you got it. The little ones and then
this one
the bigger ones.
has patterns, projects that haven't been completed, projects to be completed, books, and my zippers and my scrap storage. So this little section down here, the little white containers, those are all labeled. So the tops of the drawers are all labeled with the color of scraps that are in them. My zippers. Back there in the corner, that's where I put the scraps that have been pre-cut down to 2.5 inches or by strips, 5-inch squares, 10-inch squares, those kind of things. Those kind of go tucked in the corner. They make great little gifts if you like to make baby quilts or table runners or things like that. So it's a good way to kind of handle the scraps. My scrap containers there, those are from IKEA. They come in a variety of different sizes.
So there you go. That's how I store my scrap. That is so similar.
So that we were just saying when the video was starting, sorry if we were talking over, I apologize. But that looks like a lot like the drawers that I use for the scan and cut. In my old space, that cabinet was actually made by Origami. I found it on HSN. And it comes in the box all folded flat, and it literally, you like just kind of open it and it's done. There's no like pieces that you have to put together or anything. You just slot the shelves in, put the drawers in, everything is there, which is really cool. It's a lot of wire, you know, support and whatnot. We have multiples. My husband likes to buy those for storage in different places.
They do make great storage.
But in the old place, I actually bought it so that the scan and cut could sit on top of it. And then everything that I needed would be right underneath, which was great. But where I put it in here, it doesn't fit on the top. So
so those Lisa's are from like the Home Shopping Network, and she's got like multiple sizes of drawers. There was like big drawers on the bottom,
big drawers and
then smaller on the top. These ones are all the same size. They're from IKEA. That
color me shocked.
Right. That set was probably like $150, so like 75 and 75 for each. That is their tall set. They can be stacked or whatever. It's in the closet section.
Sure.
So it's like just a wired basket. It has a really weird name. It's like SnL or something. It's like JOX.
Something from Sweden.
Yeah. It's something. Yeah. I've just totally mutilated the name. So that's what that is. So, and then I just have one more video of my cutting counter here.
So, you know, cutting is super important. We talked about that this morning of, you know, having that space. So,
it is definitely super
having
important.
A mat and easy access to the which ruler so you're not using the wrong one.
Here's my cutting counter. I have 4 mats on top. It is movable. We have wheels. I have access to it all the way around. Lots of extra storage. Some of my favorite things to do to stay organized on my cutting space. Keeping my rulers up, making sure that I have scissors and a rotary cutter, a small trash can, and a small scrap bin The scrap bin allows me to put away the little pieces that need to go someplace later on so that I can keep the top of the cutting surface clear.
All right, so that's it. That's the gist of it.
That's all.
That's all, right?
So lots of tips on some things that you guys can pick up to help you get organized. I think, having the tools is the important thing. So unfortunately, they cost money.
Mm-hmm.
Those things don't magically appear
Mm-mm.
for free at your front door.
No.
But not buying 20 of the wrong thing before you find the one right thing
Mm-hmm.
will help. So hopefully that will help you guys with some ideas on things that you can pick up that would work for you.
Yeah, I've certainly been through a lot of variations of ways to try to organize the space. And of course, the longer you sew, the more stuff you have.
Right.
So
there is the making of projects, there is the collecting of projects, and there is just random collection of, I just want that fabric, or I just want that thread. It'll look really pretty on my shelf. So, we do have lots of stuff.
We do.
And sometimes it's hard to find a home for
It is.
all of those in an organized fashion. So hopefully this will help you guys have some ideas from a very organized soul to a not quite so much, but still wants to be organized soul, which I think a lot of people fall in my category of we really want to be organized.
Yeah.
And we can put things away, but figuring out where to put them is the hard spot.
And what to put them in.
Yeah.
I think that's really the hard thing.
I really like the little pull-out things. I think that I might get some and see if I can incorporate that in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably like one of my favorite things in the room. They're just super easy, and they come out and you can just take them wherever you need. And
I buy lots of organizing stuff, but it never works. So you try whatever it is, and then you're like, oh man, that didn't work like I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And it could be for your kitchen spices. It could be for, all different things. Because there's so many different things out there. So finding the one, but maybe something that you saw on either of our rooms, probably hers more than mine, because she's got lots more stuff than I do. But I really do. The slat wall really helps.
It does.
And when I'm sitting at that serger, every color I need is right there. So if I'm changing from white to black, I can change one spool at a time, and it's just right there. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm literally, right. In
my
one
slat
spot.
wall has definitely been one of those things that has it has changed over time.
Yep.
So it went from
and you
being
go, well,
very...
that was okay, but I think it'd be better if I move that over, and I'm going to add this there. And that's the great thing about it is it's very
so versatile.
You can change it at any time.
Yes.
Add a shelf and put whatever it was. Well, I really need this here.
Yep.
Super easy to rearrange and make that work.
Yeah.
My hoops, that is one of my. It works. And I can put the small ones in the front and the big ones in the back, and then
they hang down.
That hangs perfectly. I actually have my super big, the 10.5 by 16 is actually on one of the plastic shelves because it's so big. It didn't hang well on the other one. It kicked out into the middle of everything. So I actually just have that one hung straight.
Yeah.
But it works really, really well.
Yeah. I have, like I said, my slat wall used to be much more utilitarian and a lot less decorative, and now it's much more decorative.
Yeah, I told hubby, I said it'd really be pretty if we had, color, like a wood tone or something.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I can't find any of that at really great prices. We're gonna go with white, and you can. Okay, all right.
Yeah, white
I
works.
can make white work, absolutely. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's really, and you can. I have a lot more space to play with. It's just a matter of figuring out what I want to put where, and
oftentimes going up is like the key to making your sewing space more just more organized.
Right.
Before my last sewing room was in like a normal size bedroom. So I had one large wall of cabinets in there, and then it was like maybe 11 by 12. So it was really small. And for me, I had one big wall of slat wall that went like from like basically floor to
Right.
ceiling.
Yep.
And then on one side, like on a little cubby on one side of the window, I had some slat wall. And then on the other side of that, I basically used those IKEA Kallax or Expedite bookcases, and I had 3 of the 8 ones stacked up.
Yep.
So I basically had a wall of those, and you could get so many different things in those.
Yeah, absolutely.
With like, they have drawers and all kinds of things, but that really helped to keep everything in a place so that it wasn't, because I didn't have a lot of floor space.
Well,
to put.
I went from a corner of my bedroom, which my bedroom in my old house was bigger than most people's bedrooms. We ripped the roof off half the house and laid a master suite over there. So, I mean, the room itself was like 20 by 20, maybe 24 by 24 because it was above the garage. But I had just this little corner and I had a bookshelf, and it was just a standard bookshelf. And, you know, I mean, I couldn't find anything. I mean, it was just like, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, and when I was trying to lay out a project, put it all over the bed because there was nowhere else to go. Right. So, you know, in this house, I had a lot more room, but still not what I have now. So, I'm still moving in,
Yeah.
I'm still rearranging and finding the right spot. And I tried not to just bring things in and dump them.
Yeah.
I tried bringing it in and putting it somewhere.
Finding a space.
And finding a space. I figured that was probably the smarter route than trying to figure it out after it was in the room.
For sure.
Working in chaos is not always fun.
No, it isn't.
Yeah. So anyway, it is 4:30, and I'm sure you guys are like organized out at this point.
Right,
so
right.
Hopefully that answered some questions for you, and hopefully you got some ideas on how you guys want to go do things. Just real quick, this Friday, if you have not already, we have the OESD stabilizer event. You can sign up through your phone is just
it's like having a meltdown over here.
Something going on over there. So you can sign up through it's like the link is in our emails, it's on our website on the OESD.
It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. Event. So I mean there's lots of places. It is completely free, and it's just going to be jam-packed full of stabilizer information. Tomorrow morning we'll be right back here. We're going to do the fill in the blank, and we're going to stitch that live. And then the 21st of April or the 24th of April, we both have our foot fetish and scan and cut virtual club. And then May, we've got, what do we have in May? So coming up dates, our stabilizer event.
Yes.
So we're going to repeat, but it will be virtual, kind of what we did last year, right before COVID hit and everything closed down. And we'll talk about how we do things. And then next month in May, clubs and foot fetish will be on either the 12th or the 15th. So hopefully that'll give you some what's happening coming up. And then, of course, every other Tuesday this month, we will be doing
2 a day.
2 a day. 9 in the morning, we'll be doing the red, white, and bloom quilt. And then, of course, here at 3:30.
Yes.
So I hope you guys join us for those. And I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.
Oh, I'm behind.
Oops, wrong button.